What happened after you answered an ex's call/text? 1. It was years after we broke up. She married, moved away, had kids, and her husband cheated and left her, just like she did to me. She got my number from a mutual friend and I had no idea it was her calling. She apologized, cried a lot, told me she finally understood what being cheated on felt like, and wanted to make amends. I could tell she was in a really bad place and I just listened. She wasn't trying to get back together, or hook up, or want anything at all from me other than for me to know she understands the pain she caused. She moved back to my town a couple years later and while we're not friends, we run into each other around town and smile and say hi. 2. She reaches out every once in a while, when she's lonely, sad or wants the attention. She's now married with 2 young ones and I got a message out of the blue apologizing for how she treated me and cheating on me. Against my better judgment, I replied to this one, and within 10 minutes of us making light chit-chat about our own kids, she tells me to think of her if I ever happen to be single again. She'll be waiting. Thanks but no thanks. 3. She asked when I was coming back to our hometown to visit. We wound up getting a meal and then hooking up. 30 years later and we've been married for 20 and have 2 kids. The breakup had been amicable and there was no cheating on either side. We were just young and her mother didn't think we should be in such a serious relationship at our young age. 4. Went surprisingly well. I got an apology and some closure. Nevertheless, I'll be happy if I never hear from her again. I'm of the opinion that the past should remain in the past where it belongs. 5. About a week after we broke up, she called me at 6 a.m., right after my shift ended just to tell me she was in the parking lot of a hotel after staying the night with one of her old school teachers. I still think about the heartbreak and utter disgust I felt. But it was not the brag she thought it was. 6. She asked me if I was getting married. I told her that I was and that I was happily doing so. That was about 3 months ago, and neither I nor the kids have heard a word from her. Cool for me, crappy for the kids. 7. I asked him if his girlfriend knew he was texting his exes. Haven't heard from him in over a year. 8. My lying cheating former fiancé just called me after 5 years. This was 2 days ago. I ignored it. Not stupid enough to give her another chance. 9. We're now married. Turns out that spending close to a decade with no contact following our breakup actually made us realize how much we loved each other. We needed time building our own lives first, before we were ready to build one together. 10. She asked me for $1,000. She already owed me $800 but I had come to terms with the fact I wasn't getting it. I ended up leading her on until the day that she needed it and then told her no.